Now, the 20th century author, the writer William Arthur Ward, says, "The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires." Which one are you?
We brought 800 elementary teachers together today. Next week we will have our high school teachers gathering at Notre Dame, and it provides the opportunity for them to hear the words of phenomenal speakers, to go within, to think about those words, and to be renewed and transformed, to think about their mission as a Catholic school educator in a different context.
The thing that we have to do that is more important than anything is that we give witness to Jesus Christ through our lives, in and through our teaching, to our students. Our vocation is to help our students understand what is most essential, most important about life.
Across the disciplines, there are so many different ways that we bump up against faith questions and morality questions. And here in a Catholic school, it's so great to be able to just feel free to say, well, our faith says this is the way we want to approach this question. Or when this happened in our history, this is how the Catholic Church responded. And that's a really awesome thing because it's very integrated. You know, it's not your education, math, history, science over here, and then over here is your religious history. For instance, when we're discussing, Darwinism in biology class, then we'll bring in religion teachers and we'll bring in the chaplain, and we'll all sit around and we'll talk about the different ways that we can accept our scientific history, but also our salvation history and how those two can marry together.
I think that whenever prospective parents come into the building, they should notice that we're different from the public school down the street right away. Of course, there are things like statues, but it should really be evident in how we treat them, how we greet their children, and some of the elements of our curriculum that should look different. So religion isn't just a content area that we teach here, but it's a lifestyle in a Catholic school, and that should be noticed as soon as someone walks into our building.
A Catholic school represents values, Catholic values, Christian values, Christ's values, the Church's values. The Catholic high school represents an awareness of the importance of service to society. But it's only in a Catholic school that the students have the unique exposure to faith. It's in the religion curriculum for sure. But you know what? It should be in the very air that they breathe. And where does that come from? It comes from you. If the young do not see Catholic Christian faith lived by us and believed in by us, even if we're math teachers or basketball coaches, if they don't see it lived by us and meaningful to us, then it's all going to wither away.
When we run service programs with our kids, every teacher in the building is involved in our service program. So we send kids out 6 times a year, and by their side is their history teacher or is their foreign language teacher. Again, creating that sense of community and that sense of shared, shared faith and shared living out our faith.
Really, the reason we open our doors every day is to teach children to be followers of Christ. And so it's really important to weave our Catholic faith into every content area that you're teaching throughout your day. So if you're teaching an art class, there's so much beautiful sacred art that you can look to. So when you're teaching a certain technique, use some of the sacred art as an example. If you're teaching language arts, there are so many beautiful writings from the saints. Try to incorporate one of those into your language arts routine, whether it's an encyclical or an autobiography of a saint. That those are tangible ways that our students can see that people were just like them and then they became saints. So that's an important thing to incorporate into your day.
Children learn what they live. Catholic schools must help them learn and help them live. That's our mission, and it's drawn from the Catholic identity. The challenge for each of us and for all of us who teach or work in a Catholic school is this: to make our Catholic schools intentional, where our Catholic identities give our students something to believe in, that will guide them.
I think Catholic identity is the way all of those small components come together. So, the charism of your school, plus the religion curriculum, plus how you treat your children, how you communicate with the parents, how you interact with your colleagues, how all of those things come together. I think to have a really comprehensive and complete Catholic identity, it seems kind of obvious, but you need all of those pieces. You can have the best religion textbook there is, but if you're not kind to one another in between, you don't have any Catholic identity. And at the same time, if you're very nice to each other, but there's no firm doctrine holding it up, you don't have the Catholic identity either. So it really takes having all of those pieces in place to have a clear and comprehensive Catholic identity.
The Catholic faith is a part of everything that we do, and I know that kind of sounds maybe like a cliche, that the faith is involved in every aspect of the school, in every discipline, in every classroom, but it really is. We worship together as a community. We serve together as a community. We go away and we share faith together as a community.
I feel that at a Catholic school, one of our main responsibilities, on top of teaching children reading, writing, arithmetic, is really leading them to be saints. And so the church gives us all the tools that we need in order to do that. And so every year we focus on a different theological virtue: faith, hope, or charity. This year, as the program grows a little bit, we look to incorporate the idea of hope into everything that we do. So not just a lesson in the middle of the week for religion, but posters on our walls, taglines that we continue to go back to. And one of our main inspirations for that is Pope John Paul II, who I think was a great exemplar of being not afraid and remaining hopeful through everything.
As your bishop, I'm grateful to you for the work that you do. I'm grateful for your conviction. I'm grateful for what you put up with. I'm grateful for what you share with our young ones. The future of the diocese doesn't just remain with the bishop or with the priest. It remains with all of us. It is in your hands.
It's not always easy, because sometimes students can be difficult, and sometimes you're not going to get a lot of support from their parents. But more often than not, those are the children who need you more and who need that example more. So keeping that in mind, that every child who comes in is a child of God, and that this is our unique opportunity to bridge them from where they are to where they're called to be. It's a lot of pressure, but it's also a wonderful opportunity.